Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to do a follow-up on the Mandalorian situation in that rumored Luke Skywalker series.
Oh yes, and how the Journos are all trying desperately to make it out that Luke Skywalker is bad, and they're going to make him bad because Rian Johnson's version is the best.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't seen The Mandalorian season 2 finale yet, stop watching the video if you don't want to be spoiled.
I'm sure they've already been spoiled.
I'm tired of giving the warnings out. It's all over the place.
If you watch it, you deserve what you get. Have a nice
right.
day.
But we are going to talk some spoilers for The Mandalorian. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Luke Skywalker shows up in the last episode of The Mandalorian season 2 finale, The Rescue, and he takes baby Grogu, and he presumably takes him to the Jedi Temple to train, where baby Grogu's probably going to get cooked in a couple of decades by Kylo Ren. But for now, it's happy, right? Before we get into this, we're going to talk about the Journos again, doubling, tripling down on the Luke Skywalker hate. And we're also going to talk about the road to redemption as stated by WDW Pro on Pirates and Princesses. He is a legit Disney insider, and he's talking about what he believes is Lucasfilm's internal plans right now for Luke. Before we get into all of that, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 162,000.
Woo!
Almost 163.
Yeah, it says we might get it by Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Woo-hoo!
Christmas. Hoping for 200,000 soon.
But not by Christmas.
Not by Christmas. That would be a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That would be very suspicious, too. YouTube would be like, how did you pick up like 40,000 people in a day? Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, we like our consistent growth. You guys have been awesome. This has been an awesome year for us. So thanks so much for the support.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Geeky says thank you.
I just said thank you.
She'll sing you a song too. Oh, she already did that too.
I did.
Yeah, so go back and look. Geeky sang a Santa Baby. Santa
Parody.
Baby song. Parody. It's fair use because it's parody. All right, so let's talk about this first. We're going to talk about journalists losing their shit again over Luke Skywalker, and they just want to remind everyone that don't get too used to awesome kick-ass Luke, because sad sack Luke is still in his future.
That's his ultimate end.
That's his final form.
That's right.
Is milk chugging, sad sack, probably smells bad, Luke Skywalker, hanging with all those fish nuns. Yeah, so that's where he's going to wind up. And the Journos want to remind you of that every chance they get. We talked yesterday about Sci-Fi Wire. They had a guy who writes for StarWars.com saying that, this version of Luke totally gels with Rian Johnson's
Which is
sad
funny
Luke.
because he was going around and he wrote that article. He wrote an article and then he was going around to other places. And they were doing art. They were talking about him, but it turns out the same person was behind all of it.
Yeah,
it was the same person they were talking to.
It was one StarWars.com contributor going around to multiple outlets to make sure that they pissed all over the fans at every opportunity. And that's how this works. And look, they're getting hits now because this is controversial again. Like, we thought Star Wars was kind of over and done with, and now they've reignited the Luke Skywalker debate, and they brought The Last Jedi back into it now because fans, for the most part, were very, very happy with what they did.
Can't have that, can we?
No, we can't have that. Fans are happy they got thrown a freaking bone. I am not convinced it's going to last. But for now, I'm like, enjoy it. They actually listened, and we had badass Luke Skywalker, if only for a couple of minutes.
Right, but not to be outdone. The Mary Sue has to go there too, and of course they bring up attention whore Gail Simone, into it as well, because they're like the queen of Twitter. That's like saying you're the queen of the bog of eternal stench. I mean, that's not a compliment. The queen of Twitter. I'm like, she's only the queen of Twitter because every time anybody says anything, she's out there. Even when people aren't saying anything, she's out there trying to stir controversy so people pay attention to her. Don't forget about me. I'm still here. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. That's, and that's what this whole thing was. Again, Gail Simone. And then she shits all over it and then goes, oh, I'm still happy, or whatever she said, that, that Luke was bad. I'm like,
when the Star Wars fandom pushed back, because you've got somebody who, I don't know if she's worked on Star Wars comics in the past or not, but she has done a lot of high-profile comics projects, right? And you've got somebody like that out there taking a steaming shit on Luke Skywalker day in, day out on Twitter.
Well, it's because she wants attention.
She wants attention.
And then they're going on about, they have to bring up the whole Mary Sue debate again. I am sorry. They're saying about, what was the one comment? Go down. About Mary Sue because of a man. Because it was a man who said it. You know what? When I walked out of the theater for The Force Awakens, I took so much shit because I was like one of the only ones going around there saying that Rey was Mary Sue at first. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And my first comment was, what a effing Mary Sue. I mean, because at least with Luke and Anakin, they had things that they had to overcome and deal with. She is the bestest at everything right away, has no consequences for anything she ever does. Everything can be undone and she gets handed everything. I am sorry. She is a Mary Sue. And as they make a joke about we're experts. Yeah, you are. You're also experts on being drama queens. But
God, yeah. Gail, I mean, this is the thing. This is like, she was like, I think, the first of the new breed of comic book creators that spent more time writing on Twitter
than getting their job done.
Mm-hmm. And that's where most of their audience came from.
Well, that's because they're trying to stay relevant. No one gives a shit. I mean, who these people are. And the only time they ever get attention is when they're on Twitter, because she tried to do a stupid YouTube. I brought this up to you. She tried to do YouTube, and it failed miserably because she's not very good at it. She's just on Twitter screaming all the time and not doing her job, so you pay attention to her. So she stays top of mind, and that's the only reason why she's doing it.
5 videos and she quit. That's not how this works. We have we have like 2,000 videos just on this channel. We have the gaming channel. We've been at YouTube for like 5 years.
Serious message from Professor Simone. Stop giving redheads a bad name. That's a serious message from Geeky Sparkles.
But yeah, I mean, this is an ongoing debate. People are like, well, Luke's a Mary Sue because he blew up the Death Star. And it's like, he had no training. Well, he wasn't a Jedi in the first movie. And he was barely capable of wielding a lightsaber at the beginning of Empire. And 2, he blew up the Death Star because of his shooting skills that were honed on Tatooine. They made that very clear. He used to shoot womp rats. Now, he used the Force because he didn't need the targeting computer, but he didn't just hop in the X-Wing, know how to fly it and go blow up.
Right. Like, he didn't just hop in the ship and suddenly know how to fix it and everything about the ship even though he's never been on it in his whole damn life and knows more about it than the guy who owned it for years.
Yes.
Things
Rey.
like that. Like Rey. I'm sorry. And for Rey being such a popular character, everybody loves her, how come that Disney has turned away from those characters? They're not even promoting them or selling their shit anymore. They keep going back to classics. And if everybody hated Luke so much and thought he was a Mary Sue and all this other crap, how come when he showed up on the show, they got the highest ratings that series was already highly rated, got higher ratings than before. The internet went nuts for a character that supposedly everybody hates and was fine with being ruined. As a vocal minority that Gail Simone is the queen of, apparently, wanted to say on Twitter that was the case. And why is everybody flipping out about this in a good way? Because, that goes against what they're saying.
Everybody is flipping out about this in a good way because fans, even casual fans, were incredibly excited. Now we actually have Star Wars that looks like and feels like Star Wars under Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. It took them 5 years to get here.
But these people spent how much time white knighting for Rey?
Yeah.
And they can't admit that maybe you're wrong. But Rey's so great that Disney isn't even selling her much anymore.
No, she's actually, they're kind of ghosted Rey. Because, you want to talk Mary Sue, they totally, in the last movie, did her a huge disservice by making her Palpatine's granddaughter.
Well, not just that, then she's all the Jedi. And
she's all the Jedi.
Here's the thing.
All the Jedi are inside me at once.
I know. All the women in the sequel trilogy were done a disservice. Because they could have been interesting characters, and they made them their own OCs that were the bestest, the greatest, whatever. And they could have had flaws. They could have done so much with them. And they messed it up. They could have been good characters, but they weren't because of people behind it. So they did. If you want to be pissed at anybody, be pissed at Disney for doing a disservice to the female characters.
But like you said, they've got so much time invested in giving the finger to the man-baby fans, and they've been doing this, and we're seeing
it's all men. They said so. If you think it's Mary Sue, it's because you're a guy. I was the one saying it was Mary Sue before most anybody else was, and that's the truth. I came out of the theater saying it, and last time I checked, I'm a woman.
Yeah. You were actually much harsher on The Force Awakens than I was.
I've never thought it was that great. I already saw that movie.
We walked out of the theater, you looked at me, and I knew something was up because you're like, so what'd you think? I'm like,
no, I didn't. I said, what the hell was that?
I was like, you didn't like it. And you're like, no.
I said, I already saw that movie.
Yeah, I was like, It was okay. Then the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, okay, they're playing it safe. But I'm like, okay, we'll give them a pass this time.
I did.
They're playing it safe.
Makes sense. I understand why.
They're trying to, because there were people who didn't like the prequels. They're trying to go back to very familiar. Now there's familiar and then there's beat for beat. And this was basically beat for beat. But, then The Last Jedi came and it was just like, oh, hell no. This is, we're out at this point. And I watched The Last Jedi once. I watched it in the theater. If we didn't have the whole family there, I probably would have walked out.
Yeah.
I was so disgusted.
It was bad.
When Leia went flying through space, I threw my hands up in the air.
I was out with the Your Mama jokes before any of that.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was like, what the hell? And then, I love this whole idea that people have been pointing out she's Mary Sue for a while. And they're like, well, Anakin and Luke are too. Not in the same way Rey is. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that they don't have Mary Sue tendencies. I'm just saying it's nowhere near the same thing. And I love this. They can't just let it go. Like, yeah, we got Luke. Okay, we're moving forward. No.
Yeah.
And Gail Simone can't because Gail Simone needs attention every chance she can get it.
There's that too. Yeah. Because, I guess what gets me about this is, can't we all be happy? Like old school fans got Luke Skywalker as we expected him to be. Okay, even if it was just for a little while, let us have this one, right? New fans, you had entire scenes that were all strong female characters.
Not even done well. You know who did strong female characters well? The Mandalorian.
That's what I'm saying. The Mandalorian. We had strong
I thought you meant the sequels.
No, in the same episode, we had classic Luke.
Right, and women kicking ass.
You think everybody would be happy, and they're not. They're still not happy.
No.
Because the fans got a bone, a scrap, a little
we can't
crumb,
have that. Now
crumb.
that Mary Sue has to go around calling everybody else out, because we're experts on the Mary Sue. Yeah, no shit. You're also, like I said, you're also experts on being drama queens and attention whores. But there it is. But now we have Gail Simone there. They're calling her the Queen of Twitter. I have never ever heard anyone call Gail Simone the Queen of Twitter. Have you ever heard anybody call Gail Simone the Queen of Twitter?
I've heard them call her a lot of things.
I've never heard the Queen of Twitter. And like I said, it's like being Queen of the Dumpster Fire. Hooray for you.
Yeah, right.
I think that's actually kind of an insult to somebody. You're the Queen of Twitter. That's what I call, somebody who made me mad. I wouldn't say that as a compliment. But then they're just going on and on and on about how this whole article, and then the comments, there's like this is why I do it. Because no one else gives a shit about the Mary Sue the other day.
Yep.
It's because all the comments, and there's like a huge debate in the comments, and they're probably flipping out because this is the most attention they ever get.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it. And I think I think the reason that outlets like the Mary Sue and comicbook.com, and especially comic book resources, are going back to the Luke Skywalker well is it reminds them of the good old days where they did get all kinds of hits for shitting on fans. Kind of the same reason that you see a lot of these video game sites go back to the Gamergate well. Like, Gamergate's over. And they're going back and they're invoking the name of Gamergate again just to kick this off again, because look what could potentially happen to the Mary Sue. Look what's happened to all these other news outlets, their peers. Sci-Fi shut down Fangirls, girls, and Nerdist, they're cutting back. Geek and Sundry, they're cutting back. Some of these outlets are getting folded into other websites. Newsarama. Newsarama was one of the biggest comic book pop culture sites out there, and now it's just a tab on the video game site.
Well, Mary Sue has been hypocritical forever.
Oh, yeah.
You just get over it. You don't like She-Ra, you man-baby scum. Don't you dare make Buffy black. How dare you?
I know, right?
We're only progressive when it's something that we don't care about. The Mary Sue is a joke anyway. But they go on and on. This goes on and on. And what's hilarious is they have all these comments. But it seems like the same people are the ones making all the comments. Like, if you look, the same names keep coming up over and over again. So there's not even that many people interested. It's just a bunch of mouthy people all whining together on a comment thread.
On a blog that hardly anybody reads anymore.
Right. They don't get much traffic. Yeah, so whatever. But anyway, let's move on to what really matters.
Yeah, our blog.
It actually does get a lot of traffic.
It actually does get a lot of traffic, yeah. So I think we get more traffic than the Mary Sue now, I think, if you compare Alexas. Anyway, yeah, I just checked. Pirates and Princesses has a 54,000 Alexa, and the Mary Sue has a 55,000 Alexa.
And that's with all the people commenting to fight them.
But Pirates and Princesses is objective Disney news, pop culture news.
It's funny because they have to rely on their comments. We hardly get any comments. We just get views.
Yeah, the views are worth more. Comments are noise, but the views are worth more.
So ours is actually based on just actual people coming to read the stories.
Right, stories like this one. Now, WDW Pro, for those of you who don't know, he is a Disney insider. He's pretty legit. It's been our experience. He's right more often than he's wrong, and sometimes when he's wrong, it's just because the company has changed course. So he put this article out there today, and I'm actually going to link to this in the comments section.
Okay.
Go to Pirates and Princesses, read the whole thing for yourself. But he's talking about the path to repairing the damage that Kathleen Kennedy has done to Luke Skywalker.
Okay, so fill me in too, because I haven't got to read this yet either. I was busy writing articles, I wasn't reading them.
So he said before he gets into the meat of it, he says, been a few more days than usual since his last post. We know he was out of town.
Yeah.
He was doing stuff. He's been working with various sources to figure out what's going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, as well as other parts of Disney. Along the way, there were some rumors being bandied about by other personalities on the web that caused me to run into some brick walls. For example, Grace Randolph,
okay.
of Beyond the Trailer, Rooster Teeth affiliate now, official Rooster Teeth affiliate, Grace Randolph, has been pushing a conspiracy about Pedro Pascal and the Mandalorian. After looking into it, I think she's just desperate for attention. Oh.
Yeah, we know what that's like. Mary Sue.
I am told. Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Not that people are desperate for attention these days. I'm told that Pascal did demand that he have more FaceTime on screen for season 2, which he did, and they found creative ways to get him to take his helmet off.
Well, that he was on. He had more FaceTime. Is what you're saying? Not that he demanded it.
Yeah, he had more FaceTime. We
don't know that. We weren't there.
But it wasn't anything more than a hard line in the sand in his negotiations. He wants to make sure he's not just a voice actor for the series. I get that. We talked about this with superheroes too. We have Spider-Man running around without a mask on, for half the movie, because it probably is in the contract that, Tobey Maguire wants to be famous as Spider-Man. So we got to make sure, his mask is off.
Right, which is understandable.
Yeah. So he thought about Grace Randolph's predictions, how they didn't come true, and how she was now trying to retrofit what she had said.
Yeah,
with
we've talked about that the other day.
Boba Fett. Yep. Not wanting to be a hypocrite, I looked at all my own articles here on Pirates and Princesses, which has a higher Alexa than the Mary
It's not much higher, but it is higher, and we don't rely on a bunch of people coming in having debate fights in our comments to get our boosts.
We don't need Trump rage.
Oh yeah, that's right. We don't also do it without having Trump rage.
So far, so good. The only thing I've gotten wrong is that Disneyland will reopen in the fall. Again, things change. Now that said, I'm going to make a very bold prediction based on what I've learned in the last week. Before I do so, I want to make it clear that this can change.
Yes.
People don't understand.
Right. And being that we've worked in animation and comics and things before, there have been times people got things right and they were right at the time, and then things changed, behind the scenes and like a month later, and then it was wrong. And it wasn't that they weren't right originally. It was just that they saw the backlash, didn't like it, and changed course correct and said, no, it was never meant to be that way, even though it totally was.
Well, he said he's kind of afraid to come out with it because he's afraid that it'll get traction and Lucas will backpedal. And
well, that could happen.
It could happen,
especially if we're mentioning it.
But look at the rate Lucasfilm, because I know you listen. Lucasfilm.
That's why I'm saying we mention it, because I know Disney and Lucasfilm for sure come to our blog.
Yes, they do.
We know this for a fact.
Here's the thing. The last episode of The Mandalorian. Look at the positive reaction from people who have been in the camp that hated Disney Star Wars. The positive reaction to your portrayal of Luke Skywalker. Look at the numbers. The ratings were through the roof for the last episode of The Mandalorian. People tuning in just to watch that episode, just to see Luke Skywalker proper.
Right.
Proper Luke.
You might want to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy.
You might want to get rid of her.
Because she couldn't even do her basic job, which was making sure the storylines meshed together for the sequel trilogy. Yeah.
Post-it notes.
We use Post-it notes, and it works. She couldn't even do that, could she?
Yeah, I'm like, you would think, here's Post-it Note 1. Here's basically what happens in the first movie. Post-it Note 2. Basically what happens. Post-it Note 3. We have 3 movies. Really rough outline. Now we just flesh it out. And that's not what happened. It was like, we just make it up as we go. Let's spend millions and hundreds of millions of dollars making movies up as we go. That's amateur. That's like making webcomics or something. You just start.
I don't even start webcomics that way. There's a lot of webcomics that don't even go there.
Think it through.
They are much better prepared. Anyway,
so here's what is potentially possibly going on. Time to get the good stuff. Here's what I've come away with after some digging this week. First, the sequel trilogy is done, and Lucasfilm knows it.
Yeah, we've seen that with the merch and stuff.
Merchandise doesn't sell, does not excite people for use in theme parks or other entertainment venues, and Disney Plus numbers for the sequel movies show it simply isn't popular in comparison to even the prequel trilogy.
Ooh.
Ouch. Hey, look, people like the prequels because of Clone Wars, I think, and for some people, they grew up with Star Wars. That were the prequels.
They grew up with the prequels, yes.
Yeah. More importantly, the sequel trilogy bombed in China hard, and that means they can't use it to make money in what is becoming their second most important market. You can love the sequel trilogy, you can defend it all day long, but Lucasfilm has turned the page. Rian Johnson is done with Star Wars. There's no Rian trilogy. There never was a Rian trilogy. And the people who call the shots now all blame him for the sequel trilogy's
so
failure.
he was basically, it's kind of like they tried to pull a Headland maneuver where I'm going to go out there and announce that I'm getting this stuff and hope that it happens.
The Headland maneuver.
I'm calling it the Headland maneuver.
That's when they crashed the spaceship into their own IP.
No, the Headland maneuver. Yeah, the Headland maneuver is when you go right into Variety and the Hollywood Reporter to leak the story to make sure that they can't fire you, because then you can yell about that they're firing diverse people.
Yeah. They'll throw him some niceties from time to time, but when it comes to taking responsibility for Star Wars not meeting its full potential in the last 4 years, they throw Last Jedi under the bus.
Yeah, that's where it kind of went off the rails.
This is where,
Even The Force Awakens was a ripoff of New Hope and Rey as a Mary Sue.
Yeah, but Force Awakens sold toys.
And The Force Awakens had the chance to get Han, Luke, and Leia together, which is what everybody wanted, and they completely wasted that opportunity.
There is that. That will never happen. But we thought we had 2 more movies to fix it.
Yeah, but that was unforgivable. There was no fixing it. They killed Han.
I know, but people are like,
to me, that was unforgivable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
With Disney in financial straits, and trust me, that's an article upcoming because their stock is highly, highly inflated.
Yes, which I've been saying! No, I've been saying this.
They can no longer throw their middle finger to fans and dictate what they must like. Luke Skywalker sells toys. He sells a lot of toys. Rey does not. The Mandalorian has been the only Star Wars franchise that has growing success over time, so what does Disney do? Disney puts Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, and they're going to do it again. Here's where Disney's going to go with it. They need Luke Skywalker to be back, redeemed, and the Jedi Master fans want him to be. Toy manufacturers need Luke Skywalker back. Marketing needs Luke Skywalker back. Game developers need Luke back. The only people who don't need Luke back are ideological-driven nut jobs who tried to fundamentally change Star Wars and the millennia-old concept of the hero's journey.
And they're now whining about it on their blogs. Mary Sue.
Yep. Dave Filoni has a plan to bring back Luke Skywalker and the hero's journey that makes Star Wars work. In a decade, Last Jedi will be seen like one of those comics where Superman died back in the 90s. Yeah, it technically happened, but they retconned it so he's back every single time. How are they going to do it? I want to know. Pro, tell us. How are they going to do it? Here's the roadmap. In The Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker takes Grogu, Baby Yoda, as his Padawan. Grogu's blood has already been extracted by the forces of the dark side. There is that. Which will then use it to bring about sequences leading up to the sequel trilogy. Grogu does not die when Kylo Ren... This is all what he's hearing. We don't know for sure. It could be rumor scuttlebutt, so take it as such. He does not die when Kylo Ren attacks and kills Luke Skywalker's Jedis. Luke will be retconned to have expected Ben Solo to do so and will have made the painful decision to send Grogu into hiding.
Me. Let the other kids all die.
I know, right? This one's a little more important than you guys. He's cuter. Part of that intersects with the Mandalorian story, so I'm not going to go into details. So this probably deals with that Veil of the Force time travel.
Right, and he doesn't want to spoil it, so that's fine.
Right.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So in the sequel trilogy, it will be retconned so that Luke's actions of being in hiding, pretending to hate the Jedi, etc., are all an act to protect Grogu from being found by the dark side, including protecting him from Rey, because Rey's a Palpatine. But Grogu is placed in danger by Rey because she takes the sacred Jedi text, not knowing that Grogu is...
So they're going to make her the bad guy.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Empress Rey.
No, I mean, she didn't know and she took them.
She took it.
And they're going about how Luke's selfish and he thinks he knows more about it than Ahsoka. And then they're going to have Rey being selfish and think she knows more about it than
oh my God,
else.
Rey fucks up Star Wars on so many levels. Like, Rey, Luke had this figured out. You dumbass. You messed it all up.
Okay, so it gets better. So Luke didn't burn them himself.
Right.
Because he thought it would put the Grogu in danger.
Yeah, he's part of an ancient prophecy. It will be revealed that Luke, is he the chosen one?
So they're not undoing The Last Jedi.
No, it will be revealed that Luke couldn't bring himself to burn the book, so he believed would place Grogu in danger, even though he knew it must be done. So Yoda in Force Ghost form had to do it for him. In the end, it turns out that when Anakin Skywalker brought balance to the Force by killing the Emperor, somehow that will tie into Grogu being the child that the Force rests upon to bring peace throughout the galaxy.
Okay, well, I got a problem with that, though, because they already established that Anakin was the chosen one, and they tried to undo it and make Rey the chosen one, and now they're going to try to undo it and make Grogu the chosen one. I mean, I do have a problem with that because I'm like, why do we have to keep making chosen ones? We already had a chosen one. It was already wrapped up. You literally had to go unwrap it just to rewrap it again in different paper. And now you're going to go and rewrap that again in different paper. So on that end, I'm going to have to say, I think they're pushing it too much.
Yeah, Grogu's going to be a new type of Jedi that unites dark and light meat with Anakin and Luke both training him somehow.
Oh, Anakin's going to train him too. Okay, that's going to be interesting. They said he's been around. He was trained. They said he was at the Jedi Temple training, and he had been trained as a Jedi he had already been trained by a Jedi by other Jedi. So they totally could make it that Anakin trained him.
Well, he's 50 years old.
Well, right? That would have been. I don't know.
I'm confused now. I'm confused if they bring time travel into it. Now, there was a theory, which I actually liked in The Last Jedi, that they were going to set up in The Rise of Skywalker, was that the Luke that we saw in The Last Jedi was not actual Luke. That was actually another Force projection of Luke. That real Luke was off doing something awesome.
Was that Jake Skywalker?
Yeah, that was Jake. But no, that basically the Luke that Rey saw, and that would they could have fixed it. The Luke that Rey saw was actually testing Rey to see if she would still be a hero without Luke. And the real kick-ass Luke Skywalker was on another planet someplace else or another.
Yeah, you should have done that Lucasfilm.
And he was just testing Rey to see if she would.
That could have totally explained it, and it would have made everybody happy. But no. Then Rey could have still been a main character. Luke could have been redeemed, and we could have ended this whole argument, and everybody would have been much happier. But hell no.
No.
Why do that when we could just make it more complicated?
So they're talking about using the deep fake Luke Skywalker. They're going to do a trilogy on Grogu. That's the plan down the Grogu trilogy. The Grogu trilogy. Luke will be retconned to be a true hero. Anakin will be retconned to actually have brought balance to the Force.
Yeah, because he was supposed to have.
At least that's a roadmap for now. If Filoni and Favreau get their way.
Hey, Disney, because you're over Lucasfilm, I know you watch this shit. Just so you know, you're going to want to put those two in charge because they actually get what the fans want, and they have a way of making it feel Star Wars at least. So, just saying, if you're smart, you might want to do that.
Yeah. So they said, be prepared for more fireworks because somebody has to be the Kevin Feige of the Grogu side. So that's look, it does look like the parts are, clicking into place here because we're seeing that all these, spin-off series of The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and, the other one, whatever, Commandos or I forget what it's called, Army, Space Army.
The new show coming?
Yeah, Rangers of the New Republic. I was
thinking of like Texas Rangers.
Space Force Guardians.
But look, that's interesting. He said, be prepared to see more like Skywalker because it's Luke and Grogu next Christmas for toy manufacturers.
Yeah, well, look, this kind of makes, just going back to the original trilogy, there's something kind of beautiful about Luke Skywalker paying back Yoda by training another one of his race, like Yoda trained him.
Yeah.
Well,
there's an edit here. I think it's added.
Edit at 12:03 p.m. A source pointed out to me that Luke Skywalker literally says in the Mandalorian episode, "I will give my life for the child." Hadn't noticed it before.
I did notice it.
But it's another piece of writing where they're already setting up that Luke dies to protect Grogu until he's old enough to unite both sides of the Force. So if he is the chosen one, they're going to try to work it in that Anakin was...
Personally, I'd rather see him just erase the Last Jedi completely and not make Luke be sad sack at all. Because it sounds like they're using this as a way to lead into that and not get rid of it. You're better off to get rid of it. But,
It would be hilarious if Rey fucked the whole plan up. Because she's a Palpatine. Yeah. She's a Palpatine. But
she's not evil. She's just dumb.
No, she can be evil. They make her evil. She gets a Grogu versus Rey, and Grogu wins.
Because they're going to have to keep Rey and all that because Disney's going to double down that was their beautiful brainchild and that we have to keep it.
Is the brainchild. No, they're going to have Grogu and Rey get together. They're going to ship them, and their bastard child is going to bring balance to the Force.
No.
It's going to have Daisy Ridley's face with the big ears.
No.
Very, very short. Yogurt. Yogurt is their child.
Yogurt. Grogu and Rey, you get yogurt. Because if you probably mix the letters up, it doesn't make yogurt. Let's see.
No, it doesn't.
Oh my gosh, it might spell yogurt.
No, it doesn't. There's no T.
Oh, you're right. Damn.
Yogurt.
It was yogurt.
Yogurt. He's not even...
It's the Western Pennsylvania version. Yogurt. Get over here, yogurt.
All right, so those are the rumors. Again, they're rumors coming from Pro, but it does look like the pieces are being placed on the chessboard to try to undo. I mean, it's amazing they have to go to all this trouble to undo one bad movie. Like one horrible movie.
They should have not make the movie to begin with. How about just listen to the fans and listen and actually brought people in who cared about it and knew what made it work to begin with.
They could do another 7, 8, 9. They did it in Evangelion. They just kind of redid the last episodes.
They're just so arrogant. And I mean, even Iger was like, it doesn't matter, we'll just slap Star Wars on it. People will come. He said that about Galaxy's Edge. People are like, well, what? You're cutting all this stuff. What's going to bring people? Well, we're just going to slap Star Wars on it. It's going to break records. I mean, he flat out said this. So I'm like, the arrogance is at the center. And it's funny because they're talking about, remember in Star Wars, they're talking about your faith in friends, your arrogance, all that. And they just flipping did it.
You proved it.
You proved it.
But now somebody needs to throw Kathy down a shaft.
No one's throwing Kathy down a shaft. That's not okay. Don't say stuff.
Not for real, just figuratively speaking.
Okay.
But she'll come back. It's okay.
Like
no, it's okay if you throw her down a shaft. She just comes back more powerful than ever, but for no reason.
Right, and no explanation whatsoever. But read the books. You go buy the books. Then you can find out why she's there. You had this on the me setting, right, the whole time?
I did.
Good, because people were complaining I was too loud last time.
Oh, okay.
He literally has a mark on there to turn it down because I'm too loud.
It's the geeky dot. I'm sorry.
I'm just boisterous.
Boisterous. There we go. So are we gonna wrap this one up?
Yes.
Okay. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Curious what your thoughts are. Do you think Star Wars can be fixed? I'm not completely convinced it can be.
Sounds like they're gonna make some of the same mistakes again, which worries me. I don't like can't just undo The Last Jedi completely and just make Luke better and make more shows about Luke, but whatever.
Yeah. Gonna wrap it up?
Yep.
Talk to you later.
Bye.